In today's video, I'm sharing with you a Dollar Tree DIY that's both for fall and Christmas. Welcome to CreArtive by Nature DIY and Decor. My name is Donna. So I picked up this jar sign in the fall section at Dollar Tree, and I am going to decorate both the front and the back side of this. I'm going to start off by removing the jute twine hanger. I then went into my stash of scrapbook paper and I picked out this particular pattern here, and it's from the Give Thanks paper pad from the Hot Buy section at Michael's. So I really like the fall image on this jar, but I'm not crazy about the glitter. So I'm gonna cover this up with the scrapbook paper, and I wanted that leaf and tag image to show on the front. So I'm just gonna line up this sign onto the scrapbook paper and use a pencil to trace around it, then use my scissors to cut it out. Today I am collaborating with my friend Lisa Marie from Living My Best Life with Lisa Marie, and I am joining her today for her One and Done series. We decided that we would create one DIY and show you how you can use it for both fall and Christmas. I'll have the link to her video as well as her channel listed down in my video description below. You don't want to miss out on seeing her channel. She is very, very talented and has lots of inspiration for you to see. So I want the top part of my scrapbook paper to fit underneath the burlap lid. So I'm using some white copy paper and I'm just rubbing my finger along the edge so I can pick up the outline of that lid. I really like the burlap lids part, so I wanted to keep that. Now I'm just, of course, using some scissors and cutting that out, and that will create a template for that lid so I can cut out a portion of our scrapbook paper so it can tuck up underneath that burlap. So now I am going to place my scrapbook paper onto the jar sign and place my lid template on top. Then using my pencil, I am going to trace around the bottom of the lid. So now I'm going to use my scissors and just cut away that little portion of the scrapbook paper, and it should fit really well up underneath the lid. So I like to use tacky glue for my paper projects. I find that I get a really good contact between the paper and my surface, as well as I find that I don't get air bubbles. Now you definitely could use Mod Podge if you'd like, that's totally up to you. Here I'm just using a plastic card and I'm just going to smooth out my glue to cover the surface of my sign really well. Feel free to add more glue if you feel you need more. So once I've got the glue all covered, I can then put my scrapbook paper into place. And the beauty about using wet glue is that you can move your paper around a little bit. Now I am using my bone folder and I'm just smoothing it all out and then allow it to dry. If there's any overhang, feel free to trim that off. So now before I move on, I'm going to be doing the other side of our sign. Again, I'm using this paper pad, and this is the pattern I selected. So I've already gone ahead and done the same steps to cut out my jar, and to create my lid, I decided to use this foil tray that I picked up from Dollar Tree. Again, I'm using my template that I cut out from my previous lid, and I'm going to use my pencil to trace around it. You could definitely use fabric or ribbon or whatever you have on hand, but I thought the foil would create a really, really neat texture to our sign. So using my scissors, I'm just going to cut the lid out, and just be careful because the edges are actually really sharp. So I wanted to tone down the shininess of the foil, so I'm going in with some light gray and off-white craft paint with a paintbrush. You can definitely use a foam brush if you prefer. And then I'm going to go in and dab off the paint using a rag. Now I did find that the craft paint didn't adhere that well to the surface of the foil, so I do have a trick up my sleeve to show you here in a bit, but I'm just going to continue to apply the paint until I get the desired look I like. Once the paint has dried, I am then going to distress the edges using this distress ink, and it's the frayed burlap color. I'm just using a makeup sponge and I'm carefully applying it to the edges. You don't want to overwork it because it will remove the craft paint, so just be careful while applying the ink. So once you have the desired look, you can then use a combination of some tacky glue and some hot glue to adhere the foil to the surface. Now, the hot glue will dry quite quickly on the foil, so you'll have to work really fast. And here I'm just pressing the foil into the glue. I flip it upside down just to press firmly, and then you can continue to distress the edges if you like. I just thought that this would tie it all together really nicely. I do the same on the autumn side or the fall side of our sign as well. So once I realized that the craft paint was kind of lifting, I decided to seal the surface of our foil. So I'm using this matte varnish that I got from DecoArt. You could definitely use some spray paint as well, but I'm carefully dabbing the varnish onto the surface of the foil. I'm being very careful because I don't want to lift any of that paint any further, and then you're going to allow it to dry well. So once the varnish has dried, I am now going to use a bamboo skewer and punch through those holes. So then I have a place to put my hanger back in place. If the foil lifts, just go ahead and reapply some hot glue, and that will help adhere it again. Just going to continue to punch through until you can see through that hole. So now I am going to finish decorating the fall side of our sign. I am going to outline around the lid. I just wanted to camouflage that seam that I had created between the paper and the jar lid. I'm just going to apply some jute twine using some hot glue. I really like how that looks. I think it turned out so pretty. So I wanted to create a jute twine bow as well, because as you can see, there is an image of one on our scrapbook paper, and I thought it would be really pretty to add an actual jute twine bow. So I'm just adhering that using some hot glue. And then I'm going to be using these wall stickers that I got from Dollar Tree. I am using the one that says thankful, and I'm just placing that on top of the surface and smoothing it out with my finger. And then I'm going to be using a new favorite of mine, and that is these fall rub-ons that Dollar Tree brought in. They are so pretty, and there's different patterns. I wanted to just kind of enhance the leaf pattern that's already on our paper. So I am going to apply some of these rub-ons just in a few spots on the surface of our sign. So I just wanted to enhance this little tag that's on our sign here. So I'm using a black pen and I'm going to outline it. And I find that that will also help to tie in the thankful words as it's more black. And then it is ready to hang for fall. But before you go, you'll definitely want to see what I make for Christmas. So Dollar Tree's been bringing out these really beautiful galvanized words from season to season, and I wanted to dull down the shininess of the tin. I'm using some archival ink in the potting soil color, and I'm applying it to the surface using a makeup sponge. Continue to apply the ink until you get the desired look, and then allow it to dry. So now I'm going to adhere this peace word onto our sign. I'm going to use a combination of the tacky glue and hot glue. Again, you are going to need to work really quickly when you're using the hot glue, as I find it dries really fast on the galvanized tin. If you find that it isn't sticking because the glue dried too quickly, just feel free to slip your nozzle from your glue gun underneath the lettering and apply a little bit and then press it down. Again, you want to work very, very quickly. Just be careful that you don't burn your fingers. Now, just for a final little touch, I am going to use these wood snowflakes, and I like to color these snowflakes using some ink, and I'm just pressing these snowflakes into a white ink pad. I find it just works really, really fast instead of digging out my paint. And then using my hot glue gun, I am going to apply these little snowflakes onto our sign. And then for a final little touch, I am going to add a jute twine bow. You can put your jute twine hanger back in place and it's ready to hang. I love being able to create some versatile DIY projects for my home that I can use for multiple seasons. I hope you enjoyed this as much as I have. As always, I love to know what you think by leaving me a comment down below. I want to thank Lisa Marie for inviting me today. Don't forget to go and check out her video, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.